Is it working? Hello. This is stream number 248. And it's either going to be a short stream today or another two-parter because I got a midday meeting. And so I'm keeping the plan sort of light. And if I get through it and I have extra time, I think I'll do code cleanup or just refactoring or something like that. So my objective today is to allow a player who doesn't have an account in my game but logs in through Twitch, be able to establish a new account. So I'll demonstrate the issue right now. I'm in the process of adding this feature, login with Twitch, to my game, and the mechanism works. So you can ask Twitch to generate an OpenID web token to give back to the game, and the game will say, yes, this token signature is valid, and so this is whoever on Twitch. And then it looks into its own records and says, well, there's no player in the game who has linked that Twitch account, so there's nothing to log into. So you get this generic message back: you do not have any game account linked to your Twitch account. So if you wanted to make an account in the game right now, you'd have to hit new account and then pick a name and password. This is the alternate authentication method, the username and password. Adding Twitch authentication mechanism is a way you would be able to log in without having to remember your name and password. So what I kind of want to have is something that's like this, but it doesn't require a password or any of this CAPTCHA stuff, and happens as soon as you log in with Twitch and give it authorization. Maybe just pop up a dialog here saying, welcome to the game, you don't appear to have an account here, please pick a player name and sign up. And then it would take you into the game. Hey there, Nui. Hope you're having a good day. So that's the objective today, is to make that new dialogue and take a connection to the game, which starts with just a Twitch authentication, and create a user identity, a player identity, where there wasn't one before. Hey there, meme clear bombs. What a pleasant way to start the morning. Duracell ad? Oh no! Well, thank you for enduring the Duracell ad. See what I did there? Welcome. And I just want to say, I wish I had like a special scene for this that other streamers have. In fact, I mean to make one. A special scene where like instead of the camera to me just being in the bottom right corner, have most of the scene dominated by the camera, so I can say, I would just like to say to my most loyal viewer, Lurks, thank you for being here. It's too bad that you're a bot and your owner doesn't know how to do anonymous Twitch channel login. Or maybe you just like the fact that people see you in every single channel all the time. But thank you for your robotic loyalty. I don't know why I just get a kick out of the fact that there are robots in the chat that just never interact. They're just there. And why have a login if you're not going to use it? There is anonymous Twitch chat logins. You don't need the real account. Anyway, we're going to work on this, getting rid of this message today. So yesterday I kind of laid the groundwork with that by allowing, where is it? One of these tests here now proves that we allow Twitch login without an account. Where is it? Login, it's like login success. I'll find it. It'll just take me a minute. This might be it. No, that's not it. Oh, here he is. Log in with Twitch, failure, no account. So that's the current behavior, is if you successfully log in with Twitch, if this method is set with a Twitch ID, that means you authenticated with Twitch successfully. But we didn't create any test account here, so there's no player account. We'll get back that there is no player ID, and we get an error called no account. Apparently there's a bot in almost every Twitch chat that links back somehow to someone or something. It's just weird. Who knows what the motives are. Good thing that they don't really affect much. Is you just see them in the list and you kind of know, oh yeah, Lurks is there, like always. It's probably the bots are so old they date back to like maybe when you could not do anonymous login. I don't know how long anonymous login has been a thing. All right. So we're going to change this behavior today. It will not be a failure anymore. It will be a partial success. So you'll be able to log in, and you won't get an error, no account. You'll get, I guess we'll just have it be not an error, but there's just no player ID. That's what I wanted to do. And I think I had to do a hard stop yesterday while I was in the middle of this. I think I had written the coordinator end of this. So the coordinator, I think, is ready to handle this. Let me just find where it is. No account. Is this it? Non-player finish login success with Twitch JWT. That's it. So the coordinator will, if you tell it player ID 0, as in there is no player account, but there's a Twitch ID, it will say that the login status is no account, but that's not an error anymore. It's a login status. And we don't disconnect the client or anything. And I also had another test in the DOS mitigation. I think I'd added it. Right, do not close or ban client authenticated only by Twitch. So we already got, that's already passing. And this one is passing too. So I think that's just the executor end that we need to do. And then once we have this connection to Twitch going, I mean, a connection to the game going where it only knows about your Twitch identity, then we would add another command or another extension to a command to allow you to create a player account while you're already connected. That's the goal here. So I think I'm just going to change this behavior. It's not failure anymore. Login with Twitch only is successful with no account. That's probably descriptive enough, right? Login with Twitch only is successful with no account. How about if I say login with Twitch but no player account is successful. So we change this from false to equal 0 so that there will be a player ID key in the results, but it'll just be 0. And then we should also expect the Twitch ID, this one, to show up for Twitch ID. And then the error should be empty. So let's say expect true, execution error empty. And this is irrelevant because there is no player called Alice. All right. Uh-oh. Did I break something somewhere else? I did. 1522? Did I accidentally break something way up here? Ah. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong line number. What's the line number we're supposed to be looking at? 1974. Oh, right. For these, we have to say, interpret that JSON value as an integer. The execution results indexer returns a JSON value. So we have to say the type is int. Right. So this is going to, I expect it to fail, and it does. And we get an execution error, and we get no Twitch ID out. All right. So on to the code that goes with that test. Executor. And as always, I will explain and answer any question that you give me. And I'll have a lot of commands to explain what I'm doing. And I haven't yet made it, but I plan to make an intro video to talk about the game I'm building. But just really briefly, it looks like this. It's inspired by the old Ultima games. And let's go to the cavern. Here we have different test NPCs, and these little rotating things are markers for special triggers in the game for testing different things. And look, there's some lava with some sparks that jump off of occasionally. It's all good fun. Anyway, most of this stuff is built from scratch. There are some libraries I use, but I like to do stuff from scratch, so that's why it's a bit primitive. It's just me working on it, but I have a lot of fun, and I get a lot of help from chat. So this is the place, right? On login, yes. So I actually fixed something before the stream, but it's not fixed the right way, so I left it to do. But that's not relevant to the work today. The work today is, I think, in this right here. When you log in with Twitch, and there is no player. Right now, we do a secondary search to see, well, is there a character entity? Actually, I don't even think that this would ever work. Yeah, this would never work. Right? Actually, why do I have this code though? Oh, I know why. This grandfathers in information, I think. Yes, this is to grandfather in old accounts that are already linked to Twitch, but didn't show up in the player list. Okay, so yeah, this is only grandfathering in code. If it's not grandfathered in, you end up here where you have no account. Twitch user tried to log in without having an account here. So this is the code I need to change. So instead of it being an error, we're going to declare that it's not an error, but it is, the Twitch ID is the only thing we know. Hey there, Cthulhu. Happy Friday. How are you doing? Make sure that I understand what's going on here. I think what I want is a special diagnostic message when this happens, because that's the trend I've been doing for this command. So it would go up here, right? Just waking up? Well, I hope you have a great day. So we're not doing any of this stuff, right? We're not counting it as a login. We're not doing a player. Okay, this stuff we should probably do. Okay, what if we run through this code, but we just skip this stuff if there's no player ID? That might be the best thing to do. Yeah, okay, so that means I'm going to change my mind about this and just do nothing. We'll do nothing if there's no character and entity here. Like that. So it'll just fall through. And still want that code. But from here on out, the player ID might be 0. So we'll only do this if player ID is not 0. Right? Yeah, all of this. All of this is placed into a big, if not equal to 0 clause. That's right. Wake up, sleepyhead. So only if you authenticate as a player in the game do you go through all this junk. And, okay, what if you authenticate through neither? I think you would end up going into here anyway, and it would be this. Bad password does not exist. So I think we're safe. That just means that when we... Okay, we need to have a character entity. So this is, again, only if there's a player. Oh, so... Oh, we can't do... Okay, so that's included then. That's included in here. Okay, then there's really no point for me to break out. So, okay, changing my mind again. Changing my mind again. It's just a special, it's just an early out where we return this. Right? Right, other side of Raimu's brain. Yes. Right. Okay. So it's login success. No player account. Yet. I guess that's being optimistic that they're going to make one. We should probably say who, right? Twitch login success ID, some ID. Twitch ID. We get the Twitch ID, don't we? Maybe not. Yes, I do get it. Okay, so why did it not? Oh, it's command dot command. Yeah, exactly. Okay, got it. And yeah, so I should be using this instead of that. And player ID is 0. And I might as well just put that in place. Whoops. That's what happens when you hit the wrong button. Something weird happens and you're like, what did I just do to my editor? Okay, see you, meme clear bombs. Have an awesome breakfast. If you're still here. Otherwise, I'm sure you're already having one. Run it again. Okay, it's still failing. Twitch ID is still 0. But I put it there. Oh, I messed that up. I messed it up. It's only if there is no character. Actually, would this end up finding... This might actually end up finding someone, won't it? Oh, no, only if a player... Well, no, hold on. It might still be 0 when we get here. This is if there's no character at all. So shouldn't I just check... I should be checking if player ID is still 0. Not if character entity is still 0. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. If it's not 0, then it's grandfathering in an old account, and we fix that here. Recover, and it's just a normal player login at that point. Got it. Yay. Okay, I should run all the executor tests to make sure nothing else, and broke nothing else. Cool. All right. So we can log in with Twitch now. What does that actually look like in here now? I think we'll get an unexpected login status. But it will stay connected. Let me see if that's right. That would be in the front end, right? In Raft, right here. Source, middleware, game connection, I think. Actually, let's trace it from the beginning. The beginning would be login status. So it goes to on login status. So we dispatch that login status. That comes back here. Aha. It won't be an error. It'll be an unrecognized login status. So what if we just add it now? We can make it look like a logged in, right? Why do I have bad token? Oh, bad token's not considered an error because what you do is you just go back and request the login credentials again. Because it's not an error, it's just maybe it's expired. Okay, so this would be no account. What should we have it do? I guess we could just have it sit there. Like, do login complete hide dialog and do nothing else. Actually, login complete might do other stuff, which might end up in errors. What if I just do a hide dialog for now? Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure login complete dispatches a whole bunch of other commands. Yeah, fetch profile, fetch tickets, all this junk. Yeah. Yeah, let's just see what happens now. So log in with Twitch, sure. Did I do this wrong? Yeah, login success, no player account yet. Why did it disconnect then? Disconnected. And why do I have two other connections that are being disconnected at the same time? Oh, that's the GM panel. Something wrong with the GM panel? No? That's weird. Let's try that again. Log in with Twitch, authorize. Oh, that's weird. It disconnected. Oh, I think I know what it is. The coordinator says, oh, sure, you're logged in as player 0. And then it goes and logs out player 0 from everywhere else, which is the GM connection. I get it. Okay, that's a problem. Let me verify that's what's going on. So it's probably going back into here. On login executed. It's getting 0 for that. No error. It won't do that. It'll do unsuccessful client login. No, it should just send that. That should be it. Return. Did I miss something up in the executor? It'll go into... Actually, it's going to go into here, not... Okay, this is the correct place. This will be 0, so it'll go into here, and... It shouldn't find... Actually, it will find a... No, it won't. It won't find one. So this will still be 0. It should just return that. That's what we're seeing, right? Twitch login success. No account. Yeah. So that returns a 0 Twitch ID, and that essentially comes back to here in on login executed. No error. That's false. Right? Yeah, 0. False. So it'll skip it. It'll print the diag message, and then on the server we're connected to, for the client connection, it's going to do unsuccessful login. It's also going to do this on player logged in. Maybe that's the problem. What does that do? What command is it executing? Oh, it's just if oh right, if you logged in and you were dead, it shouldn't actually do this. This is the problem. Is that what's doing it though? Could be. What's the best way to check here? Have it say only if player ID is not 0. And while I'm building that, let me check this out again. So we'll get a Twitch ID. That'll be 0, so it should just do that and return. And that's what I'm getting on the front end, right? No, I'm getting it as an error still. Right? Oh, I know why. Actually, wait a minute. No, I don't know why. Back here, right? No, not here. It's wherever login status was. Login status. Login status. Oh, it's interpreted as an error. My bad. It's still, I have to remove that line. That's the problem. Okay. That explains why it was still showing it as an error. This rebuilt, reran, right? Yeah, it's disconnecting. It's doing a disconnection for client 5 when it shouldn't. Client 5 is the GM connection. I bet I could see that if I'm watching this at the same time. I'll log in here. Log in. Authorize. Yeah, see, it dropped the GM connection for some reason. Why would it do that? There is code in here somewhere. Hang up all clients for player 0, but it shouldn't get there because player ID is 0. It should have returned, which is really weird. Do I send no account back at any other point? No. That's the only time I send it, and it returns. So why would it get to that? Unless that's called from somewhere else. This is where set password. Okay, where is this? That's the one we just saw. It should have returned. What about this one? This is login x. Ooh, is that what it is? Oh, that's what it is. If it's not the server we're connected to, and it's not an error, then yeah. So this should be adjusted. If there's not an error and player ID is not 0. It's to prevent the same player from connecting to 2 servers at once. Yep, that's what it is, I think. Cool. So then if this works and the GM is not kicked out, that means we're connected to the game, but we're not playing. But the game knows who we are in Twitch. So we should be authorized to create an account that's auto-linked to that Twitch ID. That's the part I need to do next. Should probably check this in. I really should make a unit test for covering this change, though, shouldn't I? I really don't want to. What if I put it in my list to do later? To do unit tests to make sure logging in with Twitch but no player account does not disconnect the GM. Hey there, A squared. This is what I do when I get really lazy and I don't want to write a unit test. I say, oh, I'll just write it later. For now, I'll just make a note to do it. Why are end users morons? It's not that they're morons as a class, it's that the spectrum is wide. So I think you got to look at it from the point of view of statistics. There will be some users who are brilliant and some users who are morons, but if you look at it on average after you collected a lot of data, it's probably there somewhere in the middle. But a lot of the times our human nature tends to overemphasize the negative. And also, if someone is brilliant and an end user of your app, you might not even know they exist because they're so good at using your app that they never raise an issue. So it could be, I don't know what the name of that is, but it's some kind of bias where you just think everyone's a moron because you only hear from the morons. Yeah, exactly what you said. The morons are the louder ones. Yeah. That's my take on it. And that's maybe something to, if you start to feel down about it, something that might help you cope is to remember that um, you're getting the most feedback from the negative end of the spectrum, but there are the positive. There is the positive side too. You just don't hear about it. But you can just think that they're out there and they're not bugging you, which is the good thing. You had to tell someone that no, your stuff does not need updating. It just works. They'd spend 3 seconds to actually try it, it would have worked. It takes a special skill to be able to deal with negativity and people that expect or want help when they could just help themselves. I think it's a life skill that you may or may not care about developing, but if you had it, it would be really useful in life in general. It's just to be able to have tolerance for that kind of thing. The best negotiators and politicians have developed that skill. So other people call it growing a thick skin. That's something that I would like to have too, because for me, I get anxious when I have to deal with confrontation. And one form of confrontation is when someone, like you just said, comes in and asks for something, where they could have just figured it out themselves, or there isn't really a problem. And so to deal with that anxiety that I get, I'd rather grow that thick skin and be able to have the skill to recognize that, yes, they have a deficiency. It's not my fault. And just taking it calm and collective and remembering that there are, for every one person who seems to be a moron, there's probably another person out there who's the opposite. But in better news, the competent person always actually gave proper information that alerted you to the real. Oh, there you go. And hey, there said who? It's also the law of averages. Is that the word for it? Is there? I'd like to know if there's a word for the kind of bias that you get when you only hear from one side of the spectrum. I know there's a similar thing called confirmation bias, where you can be led to believe a conclusion because you wanted to believe in it, and the moment you get the first piece of supporting evidence, you say, must be true. That's confirmation bias. But what's the kind of bias when you only hear about some of your data? Yeah, similar, but not quite exactly. All right, I was going to test this, right? And it's running, and I'm going to try it again. Log in with Twitch, authorize, make sure it does not kick out the GM. Cool. It did not disconnect the GM. We have a new client connected, and we're not kicked out. We're still connected, right? Let me hide the screen a little bit so that, because I don't want my JWT to be leaked. But I'm going to look at the debug console in this here for a sec and do it one more time while looking at that. So log in with Twitch. Now I'm peeking at the WebSocket. It's still connected, right? How do I know if it's still connected? I guess if I reload? If I reload, it clears it. Okay, well, let's show the screen again. The point you have to come to where nobody can help you. Yeah, that happens a lot. It's another thing that you run into in life where no one can help you. You have to figure it out yourself. All right, so we get into that state where we're connected, and it's like, okay, we're connected. This default screen where you have log out way over here and retry way over here, it's sort of a broken state, because I believe if I hit log out, oh no, I guess it does work. But there's that retry button, which doesn't make sense. But anyway, when we get into this state, we want to have a different, we want to go to something different, not just hide the dialog, but go into some other kind of state. I guess what we want to do is show a create account dialog, right? And that would be similar to creating a new, what happens when you hit the create account button. So let me find where that button is. Why figure it out when you can just look at existing code and do something similar? That's in the login dialog has a create new account button, right? Or no, it's the sitting outside activity, actually. Sitting outside activity. as a show new player dialogue. That's it. Interesting. So that just must be reduced and there's no side effect. Show new player dialogue. Right, so it's the dialogue reducer. So let's add a new one. Let's have a show, or maybe I can reuse the same thing. Let me think about this. I think it would be different because you wouldn't want to go back from this dialogue. You would want to either log out or sign up. So it's going to be a special one. But what to call it? Ignoring other events, right. Most information out there is general information, but most interesting projects come from doing something unorthodox. Expect most people to be morons. I think the morons are the people who think that they know, but they don't know. So they'll give an answer like, "Oh, you can't. That can't be done," or, you know, the answer to that question is, it won't work. Or I'm not coming up with good examples, but you know what I mean. Like they say that they claim to know that the project is something that they're familiar with, or they know it will happen, when really they don't. They're just making a guess. The anti-scientist, I guess you'd call it, because a good scientist is someone who recognizes they don't know, and so they need to make theories and then collect evidence and see if their theories are correct or not. Right? What to call this thing? It's not a new player. It's sort of a new player dialogue. It's sort of a different kind of new player dialogue. I almost want to have two, add to this word here. Actually, you know what? I think I am going to use the same dialogue, but we're going to have an extra prop for an extra. We're going to have an extra state. What would the state be? Whether we're connected or not? That'd probably be good enough. If we're connected, then we know we must have authenticated. How do we know if we're connected? Where did I put that in the reducer? That's a good question. Thank you, Raimu, for asking it. Game connection? Reflect, do I have a reflect connected or something? I have a reflect disconnected. Kind of weird that I don't have a... Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't it like initial something? Now that's when we know where to connect to. Reflect server connected? Is that it? Reflect server connected. Actually, it's not just that we have a connection. It's going to be an authentication, isn't it? I don't really know where. Okay, let's go to the login dialog. Follow this login with Twitch. And it's going to come back to our redirect URL. How was that handled again? Gosh, I'm having such a hard time today. Did that go to app on initial load? I think that was it. On initial load. Reflect on initial load. Aha, here it is. What do I have this for? Oh, it's used later if we have a JWT. Login start. Reflect logging in. Okay. And then when we connected, we do login authenticate. Okay, what does a connected initial server do? Reflect initial server port, then connect to server. Right, does the WebSocket connection. What happens when it gets opened? Reflects, okay, it is reflect server connected. And that's only reduced. But maybe that's all we need. Okay, so maybe it's servers connected is all we need then. Because servers connected will be an empty array. So if servers connected is not an empty array, that means we're connected. Right? So if we're connected, we can assume that that we don't go back. Okay, yeah. I think I know what I want to do. We'll have it just show the new what is it called? New player dialog. This thing. We'll do this we'll do this one when we connect with the JWT. So that's I was just there. Authentication, maybe? Or was it game connection? I can't remember. It was login status. Oh, here it is. Right, no account. So we hide the dialog, and then we do dispatch show new player dialog. Let's see what that looks like. Log in with Twitch. Okay, we're getting there. So now when we get here, I want to, if we're connected to the game, instead of doing cancel, it should be log out. And we should not require a password. In fact, I think I would just want to hide it completely. And also, there's no CAPTCHA check. But we would have, and we don't have a remember me because that's already been done, right? So we would hide, we would only show the player name. And we should probably have some kind of thing at the top saying, you know, thank you. You're connected to the game. Thank you for playing, or something. Some welcome message that came up yesterday in chat, I think. So it's all going to be in this new player dialog then, or create. Where is it? New player dialog. Here we go. So let's make something out of the reducer that knows our connection status. That was admin reducer? Yeah. Interesting that I put it under admin reducer. You know, I know what I can do to make it cleaner. We can also catch these two actions in just a normal session reducer. Well, no. Really, the cleanest thing would be the servers connected shouldn't be in the admin reducer. It should be shared between admin and non-admin modes. It doesn't really matter, though. A name's a name. So if I wanted to, I could say is connected it means state.admin.servers connected.length is greater than 0. There. And so the first things first, we don't want it to be a cancel or back button. Where was the back button? Here, this cancel, right? That's interesting. Why did it indent that? Fix that. Should I just do it in place like I did there? So it would be something like this again. Is connected. Oh, I need to have that fast in, don't I? That prop. There we go. Where were we? Is connected. If so, it's not a cancel button. If not, though, it's the cancel button. It's going to be button log out. What's this button cancel look like in the CSS? What do we have? Do I use button cancel for logout buttons normally? Or is logout usually green? You know, I guess we can just use the same class and just say that it's not cancel, it's logout. And this would be on logout. And I think for us, a logout is easy. We just disconnect. So just need to have a prop for that. Why is the color all weird here? You had to deal with people who said that it's impossible? Uh-oh. Dog has been alerted. There must be intruders. How dare those people walk by on the sidewalk? You had to deal with people like that who had no idea how to solve a problem or even what the problem is because they could not even read. They started telling me you should rephrase your question, saying that what you're trying to do is unreasonable and impossible. Well, those are two different things. If they're saying that what you're trying to do is unreasonable and impossible, then they understood your question, so why would you need to rephrase it? And they even started telling you that they do not have to answer you as if they cared and they're as if you cared and they're the only holders of information in the world. In the end, you got banned from the place because you ended up solving the problem. You got banned from that place, but you ended up solving the problem yourself. So those are two different things. I'm guessing you got banned because just they got fed up or something, which could happen if people get fed up too easily and too quickly, and it's not your fault. But who knows, right? So the other thing is you solved the issue yourself. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a problem with communication, right? I would what I would try to take away from that is if you want to be able to leverage a wider population of people to help you, I guess you'd have to make a decision. Are you willing to tolerate some of that stuff, right? If so, then growing a thicker skin would help. And by the way, thank you for that follow. But if you don't really want to deal with that, then what I would try to do is just recognize when that's happening and just say, oh, okay, sorry, see ya, and then just leave early, and then save yourself the trouble of getting banned and having them tell you that it's unreasonable, etc., etc. You can just thank them for their time and just leave early once you recognize that they're not even reading your question. Yeah. I would just, let when someone insults you, it's up to you. You have the power to choose how you want that to affect you. Do you want it to get you mad, or do you want to? For what I try to do nowadays, not to let it get me mad. It's more of like a signal to me that okay, I should probably close this conversation and move on. You know? Yeah. For me, I would just bail. I would have bailed early. I would say, I don't need the insults, the criticism. You guys aren't listening to me. I'm just move on. There are plenty of people out there that you could try instead, right? There's literally like dozens of channels on Twitch that do the same thing. So if like one's not working out, you say, okay, thanks, bye, and then you move on to the next one, right? And then you save yourself some trouble. That's my opinion. What I would do. You have to show me the text? That's okay. You don't need to. Only if you want to. And I don't know how I would be able to help other than just say again. Probably that it would have been better to just terminate it early and move on. Problem is, a mod came in and started to insult you 2 hours after you blocked them? Well, how did... Oh, you mean... Well, yeah, that happens. That's just immaturity. As you get older, you'll just realize that, immature people will ruminate on bad decisions they've made or try to... What it is they're trying to get validation from their community that what they did was okay. And they'll do it by saying, "Oh yeah, remember that guy who was in here 2 hours ago? Wasn't that great when I insulted him?" And he's hoping to get a response back from his community saying, "Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it?" Um, where's that button? There it is. Goodbye. Yeah. So I think you recognize that over time as you get older, that when that happens, people insult you 2 hours after you block them. They're just trying to get validation, and really, they have an insecurity, right? So again, it's up to you. What do you want to do about it? Do you want it to affect you or not? The problem is not yours, it's theirs. They have the insecurity. You can just choose to not let it affect you, move on. Yeah, there's bots like that all over the place. But they're super easy to spot. In fact, I was thinking about making a regex to catch it. I don't even think they listen. They just kind of spam through all sorts of different channels. But the regex would be if you take the stream title, and if that appears in chat as is verbatim, it's the bot. No one is going to be pasting it. And don't you guys do this to joke with me, but yeah. No one except for the bot will take the title of the stream and paste it into chat. See, I knew you'd do it, A squared. Toulouse, this is my elaborate means of unlurking you, by the way, Toulouse. How are you doing? All right, the log out button, if we're connected, that's what I want to do. So I need to have that as a prop. Yeah, we've been getting more traffic from bots. It's probably a good time for me to extend this offer again. That if anyone is willing to accept the responsibility of helping moderate the channel, I will. If you're a regular in here and I trust you, I'll give you mod. But I like to emphasize that it's not to be used as a symbol, a status symbol to get the sword. It is signing up for something. It's that when you're in chat, you'll kind of stay on alert for these bots and spammers and be there to ban them. So if you're willing to accept that, I will add another moderator so that it doesn't distract me so much. And you can let me know in chat or DM or whatever if you want, if you would like to. And what should I say? The criteria is that basically that I can trust you. So one of the people, they're saying that your problem wasn't solvable. He actually said that there's already implementation of that on Shader Toy, and he wasn't even attentive enough to realize that clearly. They had made the shader. Oh, it was your shader? No. That statement where you say you guess you're the bad guy and you're just entitled, I hope you're not serious. Some people will say that seriously, and it's a mark that they have low self-esteem. I hope that's not you. You need to realize that people will throw out things like you're entitled, what you're doing is impossible. Those are their words, and that not necessarily is something that you should internalize. That's what they think. Keep it external. They think that I'm entitled. Okay, I know I'm not, so I'm not going to let it affect me. That's funny that it was your shader toy. So if you really wanted to, like, well, I wouldn't go this far, but you could have said, by the way, I wrote that shader. Yeah, good. Yeah. We want to make sure everyone's self-esteem is healthy, right? You should never internalize what other people say that you don't agree with. That's letting them win and beat you up, right? All right. I'm lost. Where am I? I'm lost in... All right, on log out. Why was I looking here? There must have been a reason. I think I was just scrolling around. So on log out. I'm going to dispatch something. I wonder if I just have... what do I do on normal log out? Log out. Isn't that just an easy disconnection? Disconnect from game. There we go. That's exactly what I want. Disconnect from game. Let's see what that does. Interesting. Yeah, who knows? I would have just moved on. It's like, okay, they're not gonna really help me. I'll just move on, try somewhere else. Cool. So now, okay, that didn't work. Oh, I didn't hook that up yet. I'm dummy. Oh, wait a minute. No, I did hook it up. So why is that not working? It should think it's connected. Mike! Ah, we're being raided by Mike in principle. How was your stream, Mike? How are you doing? For those those who don't know Mike, he's the author of Thrusty Ship, which you can now play on Steam. He released it earlier this year. Okay. Enjoy your phone call as much as you can. Hopefully it's a fun phone call. I'll just put this in chat to tell you what I'm working on, but in essence, I'm trying to allow you, when you log into the game, right now you have to create a new account with a password, but what I would like in my game is for you to be able to log in with Twitch like this and have it go to this automatically, but then not require a password, and this cancel should say log out. And this is the logic to do it, and for some reason it's not working. It should say if we're connected, show it as a logout button, and have that actually disconnect from the game rather than going back a dialogue. Actually, this should do more than disconnect. It should also clear the dialogue, shouldn't it? I wonder if I already do this. I actually want to do all of those things. I want to sit outside, disconnect from game. Actually, I want to do all of this, don't I? Not necessarily that. Actually, I do want to do that. Actually, is this what I want? Log out start? So that would be easier then. I would just do log out start. There we go. Fixed. It's huge simply because one guy's wrong ideas, your opportunities are ruined, but whatever, it's the internet. See, my kids sometimes use that word whatever, and it's always a red flag to me to mean that they didn't have a healthy experience that's like pushing away. So said to, I think you gotta take this opportunity to grow and say, those guys, I'm not gonna let them affect me. They're not going to screw up your, don't let it screw up what you're trying to do. Just move to some other community. There's lots of other communities out there who you'll find a better experience with, I'm sure. Hey there, Slickver. And Mr. Love Pickle. There's only like 4 people mad. Okay. Not sure what you mean, but okay. No, people from there gave you work and you're happy with it. Oh, I see. Well, another tactic you can take is you just ignore those 4 people and just pretend they're not there. And if they give you crap, just ignore them. If someone says, "Well, why don't you respond to that?" You could say, because I don't want to. Hold on a sec. Yeah, well, said to, I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, that sucks. Do you have a YouTube channel as well? Yeah. Are you doing M Balrog? Oh, thank you, A squared. Oh, that's not an alias? Let's make it an alias. Alias com YT to YouTube. There we go. Yeah, it's really just all my recordings. But I also have recap videos there. And I'm due to make the August one. I'm behind a little bit. Oh, they won't affect you? That's good. Yeah, don't let them affect you. I'm wondering if I got this wrong. Does this need to be in parentheses? Wondering if I got that wrong. I guess I could look at the Redux state. Redux, how art thou today? Okay, log in with... Okay, let me hide this for a second. I don't want my JWTs leaking. I don't think that they will, but just to make sure. Yeah, okay, we're fine. We're not leaking JWTs. I want to look at the state and the admin and the servers. Can I? Oh, it is empty. Look at that. Why is it empty? Why is that empty? We're able to send to the game a message to log in. Oh, shoot. Good thing I have the number once, so it won't work. Also, it expires in 10 minutes. It always happens to me. I say like I'll be careful and I'm not careful enough. Well, let me double check something. Okay. Oh well. Technically it only yeah, okay, never mind. We're good. I don't need to worry about anything. We are fine. We're all fine here. This is fine. Burn everything. Okay. Login status is no account, but we're not disconnected. But why did... Yeah, the diff... The diff didn't drop anything from the admin state, right? So why... Okay, up here, though, it would have diffed. No, it didn't. Oh, it's up... Wait a minute. Is it not storing it the way I think it should be in the admin? Admin reducer. Reflect server connected should have done that. Oh, there is no reflect server connected. Is that it? It's connect to initial server? That's what it is. Okay, that's what I thought would happen is not actually happening. This thing. Only if it's in IDs by socket will that happen. Got it. Okay. Okay, so I need to do something different then. So let's look for connect to server. Or is that done? Connect to initial server. Log in. Okay, so it's around here, log in to authenticate. That we're connected. What does hit and cancel do? Just does go back. And log out does what? Log out. Oh, it did a disconnect from game. There is, okay, I think I'm going to have a reflect connected in addition to this reflect disconnected, and that's how I'm going to handle it. So I just need to have a reflect connected somewhere in this process. What if I do it in this unconnected thing? Because they're all the same, right? Yeah. Oh, but this is reused. Okay, so it's the GM will connect to all 3 servers. Hmm. The difference will be that there's an ID, and the other ones it won't have an ID. So maybe that's what I do. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Okay, so where is it? Yeah. Right here. This is what I'm going to do. Else dispatch actions reflect connected. And we'll have, because that will match reflect disconnected. So let's put that in. Actions reflect connected. And then we don't need to use the admin reducer. So this is better, I think. Well, where do I use reflect disconnected now? I just use it there to do what? To automatically log in again? Okay. So I think we're just adding it fresh to, where would I want to put it in the reducer? Session, maybe? Or stage? What goes into stage? No, I think we'll just put it into session. The huge reducer I have. Let's just make something called connected. And let's just keep it simple. So okay, right here. Case actions reflect connected. Return the state but connected is true. And then disconnected. These need to go where the R's are. Right here. And then reflect disconnected. False. Okay, and then back in the dialog here, it's just state.session.connected. Okay. Don't need to see that anymore. So log into account is okay, and login with Twitch new account is okay. There we go. And then log out goes okay. Yeah, we need to dismiss the dialog. We could just have logout start do that. Yeah, we can just dispatch actions. I forget the name of it to dismiss the dialog. Well, it would be the same as if you. Oh no, it wouldn't. I just look for it. Dialog. Hide dialog. There we go. Log in with Twitch. Authorize. Log out. Nice. And we're not connected anymore, right? Disconnected. There we go. Cool. So then, if we're connected, then we can also remove the password stuff. So, back here. Couple things, right? The validity check should not count if we're connected. And it's like this, right? If connected and they don't match, do that. Not connected, sorry. Not connected. What else? Don't show it at all. Don't show any of this stuff. So, connected? Nil, or null. Otherwise, show junk. And let's do it with the React fragment. Div. Oh. Right, these go in pairs, so that goes with that. And also the remember me. Didn't indent enough. Indent more. Okay. Connected is not defined. Why not? Is connected. Duh. Is connected. There we go. Log in with Twitch. Authorize. Set custom validity of null. Oh, because it's not, there's no ref for it. Okay. So then can I just do it this way? If not is connected, then do the effect? That would make sense because if it's connected, we wouldn't even be in the DOM. And this is then simpler. Try this again. Okay, that still works. Okay, so I just need to get rid of the CAPTCHA and then add something at the top. Where's the CAPTCHA? Oh, it's right in there. And then the title. Would I put it in here? I guess so. A paragraph, I guess. Welcome to the game. I'm sure I'll have to change this to make it nicer. What does that look like? Does that look dumb? Yeah, I think I want this to be a header 2, not a paragraph. Probably want it to be centered too. I wonder if I could do it within this. Dialogue, medium width. Well, these aren't specific. Yeah, I know. Actually, I think that a new account doesn't need any more description, but a login should have an extra paragraph here. So let me do it this way. Is connected. Otherwise null. This is an optional thing and say like, I don't know. Let's have a paragraph here that says something like, in order to play, you will need, in order to play, please enter a name for your character. What if I just say, please enter a name for your character? So normally, I don't even know if I need a title. So just put that in here too. And then that needs to be a fragment if I do it that way. So I don't need to show really the title. It's only to clarify what's going on when you say this, because you would expect it just to get into the game. But here, yeah. Joe, sign up. What does that actually do? It did a whole bunch of bad things. Oh, one new player submit. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to do... So that should be if not is connected. Actually, it's gonna be slightly different, isn't it? Right. We won't have a mail or a password. Use just a username. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Mr. Love Pickle. Point. How would I do that? I would have to have the backend tell us. Either that or we need to decode the JWT on the front end. Let's just have the backend tell us. Yeah, I was wondering if I could just get it from the token, but... Yeah, I guess I could do that. How hard is that? I'd have to have a JWT decoding library. I don't know, just to get the username? I can just get it from the command response, so... I mean, that's a lot easier. What if I just do that in the backend? It's easier for me. I like to do what's easier. So the test for that. This thing right here will have actually I could just reuse this username, can't I? That username could be the Twitch name. Why don't I just do that? Expect that to be equal to whatever the display name is. Bilbo. That doesn't feel right though. I'm using the same thing for two different purposes. And I was just told that I got to end the stream soon because we got to go to the meeting. What's a good stopping point? I don't know if I can get this in the next few minutes. I need to think about this. I either want to reuse that username or make a new thing like Twitch name. Actually, I think that's what I want. Bilbo. Bilbo? Twitch name. That would be available to in the command anyway, right? So we can, yeah, I can get this done. I can get this done in a minute. I should get ready to raid someone though, because I gotta end really quickly. Yeah, so hold on. Yeah, let me, what am I doing first? Can I fix this the next minute? Is it that much work? I just gotta go to on login executed and where is it? It's inside here, right? Oh, we only get the Twitch ID, not the Twitch name. Okay, it's gonna be more work. Yeah, because it would go here, right? It would be Twitch name is Twitch name, but I don't have the Twitch name here. I'd have to pass it in on successful client login. Let me do that after the break. If I resume streaming after this meeting. I don't know yet, probably, but we'll see. So, one of two things are going to happen. So I have to go to a meeting right now. So either I'm going to come back in like an hour or so and start streaming again, or I will just take the rest of the day off stream. And either way, I'll be back on Monday if you don't see me. So let me go find someone to raid. Do. Oh, Adam's still going. Let's hop over to Adam's channel. Thank you, Toulouse. We're gonna raid Adam since he's still going. And if you haven't seen it, he's making a game called Botland. It's a strategy game with a focus on automation. And I hardly ever get to raid him because usually I stream longer than he does these days because he starts earlier than me. But yeah, I had the opportunity. I'm going to go seize the moment. Here we go. I'm doing the thing. Okay. So I'll either see you guys in an hour or two, or I'll see you on Monday. Don't know yet. Depends. So hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and go enjoy Adam's stream, okay? Bye.